Guys, it's now come to the last thing, and this is the new addition into the show, and it's going to be one that maybe we'll put in there every once in a while, but maybe not all the time. And it's going to deal with the culture of nerdom, okay? And I do think there's a lot that needs to be addressed when it comes to the nerdom, the culture of nerdom, and a lot to break down. But one is, and it's the simple thing of, can we all just get along? Can we all just communicate and deal with each other and not separate and divide each other based off political differences? And I think that's easier said than done, because in order for this to happen, and this is going to be where we get a little bit more political, so if this isn't for you, I totally understand. So just fair warning that this will always be at the end of the show, and sometimes it might get a little political in some ways, or philosophical more so. But we're not going to be afraid to call things out, right? Like if I want to talk about the left or the right, we're going to talk about it, okay? And, I think the same way that maybe the right will never understand Kendrick Lamar is the same way that the left may never be able to show forgiveness and mercy and grace towards others they disagree with, okay? Tolerance is not a virtue, sadly, that comes to a lot of these people. And the perfect example in showing that is this right here. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, right? You see this, and this comes from DCU Updates, who, have always done a good job dropping stories, dropping information, like, oh yeah, this is cool, dropping different content to show you different things that are coming in the DC universe, if it's comics, movies, whatever. And I followed them for that reason. And when I first saw this photo, I didn't think nothing of it, and I liked it. And then later on, I went into someone was saying something, kind of commenting how they clipped out Dean Cain. Now, if you don't know who Dean Cain is, I'm going to show you him in a little bit. Dean Cain was another Superman. And then I looked back at this photo, and I was like, oh, wait, yeah, this panel, didn't they have all the Supermen together at this panel? Like, shouldn't they all have been there? Something feels off with this. What's going on? And then I realized they clipped out Dean Cain. And then I wondered, because he said original image credit, and he gave it to Screen Rant. And so I'm like, did Screen Rant clip him out? And they didn't. They didn't clip him out. They had him in the photo. They had Dean Cain in the photo. They never clipped Dean Cain out. And so this user, who has a pretty decent following. I mean, he got 3.8 million views on this right here. And a lot of people that were dissing him and calling him out for this are also the same people that gave him a lot of money. Okay? Gave him probably a lot of money from the engagement from this, including me. But I corrected it. Okay? I corrected it. Other people had corrected it for me, but I put the same title that he did on my Twitter, which you can follow me at Literally Embrace Nerd. You don't have to type anything crazy, just literally the name of the channel and it'll pop up. But I said, hey, the many faces of Superman. And it's like, why would you go out of the way to do something like this? Dean Cain's not hurting no one. Dean Cain doesn't have, guys, just so we understand this, okay? I know things are really politically, really toxic right now, but just understand that most people are pretty normal and their views are not super extreme. And honestly, the right really haven't, their views haven't really changed that much over the years, okay? Maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. Honestly, they probably go more left. Statistically, they lean a little bit more left. Every few years they go a little bit more left. Okay? Dean Cain is not a crazy person, okay? Dean Cain is not an extremist. And it's okay if you disagree with him, but to go out of your way to clip out someone like Dean Cain for being recognized as being one of the Supermen is just a really lame thing to do. And we just need to do better. We need to treat people more kindly, treat people with kindness. Don't be so bitter at everything. And don't carry things in such a negative way, in such a negative light. Because I promise you, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Supermen, right? There's 6 Supermen here. I promise you, not all of them think the way you do. DC World, guess what? I promise you that at least 2 of these guys, besides Dean Cain, do not share the opinions of you. And I will definitely say this. I think all 6 of them, okay? All 6 of them do not believe that it's a good thing to do to literally clip out one of the actors to not let him be recognized by the rest of the people that were a part of this. Those actors, if they agreed with you, DC World, okay? Because I don't know who you really are. So, if they really agreed with you, they wouldn't have been on the panel. They wouldn't have been on the panel. But they came. And why? Because, one, it's good to be celebrated, right? It's good to be recognized. And what opportunity would you ever have to have all the people that have played Superman, that have really encouraged us with this sense of wonder and sense of fun imagination, to all be in the same room together, right? Like, when do you think that would ever happen? Ever. And so I just think it was a really crappy thing to do to Dean. You know, did it give him some engagement? And it was cool to see people defending Dean. I'm actually watching the Superman and Lois show right now. I'm catching up to it for a couple reasons I can't reveal yet. There's a reason I'm rewatching it, and I can't talk about it right now. I can talk about it maybe in April, I guess. But that said, it's just something that I think was really screwed up, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot of othering people, right? One of the moral things that I carry as a person is we don't other people, groups of people. You know, sometimes we do talk about the realities of things. So there's a reality that maybe the left isn't as forgiving as they claim to be, right? That is a reality of the situation, as we can see with just this post right here. But I'm not going to go around and, you know, declare certain things about certain people. And I would never, ever disrespect someone whose work is so valuable. Just perfect example, you know, I don't totally agree with everything that probably Bo DeMeo agrees with and thinks, okay? We probably disagree on a lot, probably, I would assume. But when I was going over his video, you know, do I mention that, acknowledge that? Sure. But I gave him the respect that he was due and really defended him and probably agree with him in that situation that he was in. I probably agree with him with what he was going through. And I didn't go out of my way to dismiss his struggle or to dismiss him as a person because we may disagree on something. And so that's kind of culturally, that's why I'm bringing this up, and that's why I think it's important to have in this show. Because yes, this show is about some news. It is about getting hyped. It is about getting excited. But I do think there needs to be a shift in our culture. And the only way that's going to happen is if both sides come and work together. But guys, this is me telling you that if you are someone who's more progressive, guys, this is where you need to come out and say, hey, that's wrong. Right? You have to be willing to do that. And I have to admit, when I was looking through the comments, I didn't see many progressives going out to call this out as well. And I think that's a really crappy thing to do, because maybe that's what you want politically. And that, you know, if that is what it is, then there's no changing this divide that we have then, because in order for this divide to change, there has to be a hand that has to be given. And I promise you, the majority of the people on the right are ready to grab that hand. But you have to be willing to give the hand first. It's just, that's the reality of the power balance in Hollywood. That's where we're at. And let's not other people. Let's not separate people just because you disagree with them politically, right? Let's just enjoy. Let's just have fun with these characters and be happy that we've had this many interpretations of Superman. Guys, we've had, how many is it? 9, you know, well, more than 9. We've had about 12 or so, you know, different interpretations, 13 maybe, quite a few, right? Just to be careful, actually way more than that. We've got quite a few interpretations of Superman. Okay, we include voice acting and all those things. We've had quite a few interpretations of Superman, and how blessed do we have to have every single one of those, including Dean Cain, including Tom Welling, including all these guys, right? So anyway, instead of separating people, count your blessings that you even got to be around and got to watch or participate in the things they made in the first place. But anyway, guys, that's where we're going to leave it. I hope that you enjoyed the show. If you were brave enough to stay along around this long, I really do thank you. And we're going to be doing better about clipping this show. So if you did stay along around this long, just know that we may be having clips of this show come out later. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, I really hope that you're having a good one. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching a short clip from a much longer show that we've been doing on this channel. If you would like to see the full show, just go down the description and click the link. Thanks, guys.